Welcome. It's the Illblurmatic, Matic. It's the illest blurred in the land. Welcome back to Illblurmatic. What is going on? Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, also returning. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into today's new video. Today's new video has something to do with one of my other videos, if you really think about it. Bob Iger is catching all the smoke. When I think about it, about him talking about selling the actual Disney to Apple, I was like, man. But this actress has some words that she was not having it with Bob Iger. She said, hey, he's accumulating wealth, he's getting wealthier, and let's talk about it. So, She-Hulk actress has some words for CEO Bob Iger. Wow. So Tatiana Mosley has some words about Bob Iger. She said, first off, you're just accumulating wealth for the company. You have lost touch of what the company should be, Disney, and you don't know how to treat your employees and how to rationalize the money because all you're doing is getting more wealthier. I said, woo, she bold. She is bold for saying. I was like, wow, at the strike. So I was like, man, that's gutsy. That's very gutsy for her to say that. The other thing she mentions too, and you know what? This is not the first time I've heard this because we all have to remember that streaming doesn't really bring in the money that it should for actors, whether it's a movie, whether it's a TV show, and some actors don't really like to stream things because we are not going to get the residuals at all anyway. So what's the point of us streaming, right? So Tatiana Mosley said, hey, we didn't get the streaming residuals for it. So a lot of us don't understand like why the writers and actors are going on strike is because they're getting paid less for the streaming platforms. The money that they do usually get paid for, if it was on regular TV or in theaters, would be more money. But when it comes to streaming, it doesn't happen that way. We also saw Scarlett Johansson in the past, because she talked about it too. She fought against having Black Widow come out on Disney Plus, and eventually it was only streaming. I was like, ouch. Poor Scarlett Johansson had to go through that. And also the She-Hulk actress as well. It is kind of unfortunate that happens. But the one thing that she did mention, and I said, man, that is kind of sad. It's disappointing, but it's the reality of it, right? She says some of these actors cannot afford a household, a car, let alone health insurance. I said, woo. That is something that's scary, very sad to hear her say that, but that is the real reality of it. There was something I saw on social media, and I wish I would have just kept the picture just to throw it on here. There was an actor that had played in a movie, and he got 0 residuals. Like, how could this man get health care, or individual get health care, and then they don't have the money? Like, their paycheck was 0. That was it. I was like, ooh, the Hollywood scene for movies, man. Some of these people are ruthless if you really think about it. So I understand her stance on it. But let's talk about Bob Iger's stance too, because I don't want to make it like a one-sided thing. I think Bob Iger realizes there is a problem with Disney as a company. And this one right here makes the most sense. Slow down the production for movies and TV shows that are Marvel based, and maybe even, like I said, Lucasfilm and Pixar. Very smart move. I think with the Disney Plus app, and I've noticed that this is a big problem with the app. I don't know if it's ever going to get fixed, because a lot of the content, some of it got deleted, of course, because I do remember they said that they got that it got deleted because I guess maybe it wasn't being watched on the platform. Disney Plus is starting to become like Netflix in a way. It has way too much content on it. This is from my perspective on it, no one else's. And it's very unlikely that everyone's going to like, oh, I'm going to watch this. Oh, I'm going to watch this. Oh, I'm going to watch this. When you have too much content on a streaming platform, there are going to be a lot of stuff that's not going to get watched. There's going to be stuff that's going to get watched, of course. I definitely think it was smart for him to say, you know what? We got to delete some of this content off the platform because of that, because it's not working out. The next thing that I think he was smart on that he realizes is that these Marvel movies are not doing good. He talked about it in the past. He said, you know, AntMan was one of the biggest flops for Marvel of this year. And the only movies that are really doing good is Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the movies that did really good for this year, for it to be a third movie. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is more of a Disney and Sony partnership because they are sharing the Spider-Man character. So, you know, not necessarily Miles Morales, but just them having the association with them. So those two movies are kind of keeping it afloat, but it's more so Guardians of the Galaxy because that's all Marvel, whereas the Miles Morales is not all Marvel. It's a Marvel and Sony, Sony and Marvel association type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, if the movies have $100 million budgets or $200 million budgets, if it's not working out, they have to figure out a way to re-up the money. And this is not the only problem is either. The other problem is Pixar. Pixar hasn't been doing really well. So I think he realizes that, okay, yes, we have these different studios under the Disney company, but they're not re-upping the money like we wanted them to. And we have to understand, like, this is costly, and we're still in $1 billion debt. So I get his angle a little bit on this. The other thing with Bob Iger selling certain IPs of Disney could save it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know, at first I was like, no, Bob Iger, don't do it. Don't do it, Bob. No, Bob. But then I'm like, that could work. That could save the company, can stay afloat. It could probably get it out of that $1 billion debt that it needs to get out of. Yeah, man, I think that could work. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that is the problem with the Disney is getting too big. Like I said, they have all these streaming services. Like I said, they got all these different other companies under it. That could definitely save the company. But you guys tell me in the comments, do you agree? Isn't it crazy that actors don't get that much for streaming when it comes to movies and TV shows? My next question is, do you think Bob Iger is greedy and he's not trying to help the company? It is a blurred living in the world, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing. Have a wonderful day, guys.